Hello and welcome to Teccles Cake, where we are talking tech and eating cake. I'm Alex.
I'm Chris.
I'm Max.
And today we are reviewing the new 3DS, or is it the new 3DS?
That is the question. It's a bit confusing. Nintendo have released an initial 3DS, and then they had a revised 3DS, then they had the 3DS XL, and now 2015 we've got the new Nintendo 3DS.
So they bring out like a new one every 3 months?
Yes, but the thing
I'm
is,
a little confused. What's going on
it
here?
is a bit confusing, but this one is the most drastic change because this one actually has a better
Okay.
processor in it. It's like an upgrade, almost like a sort of like a, you know, a 1.5 version sort of thing.
Right.
So it's the same bare bones, but the
so
main
faster processor, you think?
Yeah, so it's got a faster processor in it, and the main difference with that is that there are going to be games coming out soon which are exclusive to this. So at the moment, all of your games that you've got on your, this is my 3DS XL, all the games that you've got for that will all work on this.
Right.
And so if you buy this, say you're going to upgrade, then you get this, and then it'll prompt you at the first and says, do you want to download your game data from your other ones? And then you can just transfer all the saves over all wirelessly. It's all nice. It's
So
all
these
ready,
two are
good to
completely
go.
interchangeable?
Completely interchangeable, apart from when the first game comes out, which is exclusive to this.
Right.
Which at the moment they don't have any, but it's going to be
Oh, good Lord.
exclusive to it. And the first one, the big one that's been talked about, is Xenoblade Chronicles, which was out on the Wii a couple of years ago. Amazing Japanese RPG, which you're now going to be able to play on the train.
Okay, so hardware-wise, what's changed about it? What's new?
Okay, so the major differences are we have got 2 new shoulder buttons, which, to be honest, are a little bit fiddly to sort of hold and press at the same time without pressing the other ones, but you'll get it eventually. And then the big change is the nubbin. Just check out the nubbin.
Oh, nice.
Wait.
Yeah, do you want to check out the nubbin?
It's a tasty nubbin.
Let's have a look.
So this one is...
Oh, it feels like a nubbin.
This one is minus...
Feels like a nubbin.
minus
Looks like
nubbin.
a nubbin.
Looks like a nubbin.
Probably a nubbin, isn't it?
Right, okay.
So the main difference is that we don't have 2 analog sticks on the initial one, and they brought out this sort of weird attachment, which everyone was like, why are you doing that? And it was basically like an extra thing that made it into a little pad for you here. So it was like the C stick or the C pad on the N64. Yeah. And so now what they've done is they've got on here, instead of it being a proper analog stick, it's like like an IBM sort of touchpad, or you know those tracking pads on mice. It's like that, but it does work really, really well.
And it
Really?
feels pretty
'Cause those-
soft. It feels pretty soft, which is
It
always
feels
nice.
lovely.
Oh, where are we
You don't
going
get any
with this? Where are
blisters
we
on
going with
those
this?
thumbs, that's for sure.
It's all
So
about
those-
the tactile nature of it, isn't it?
Those things are pretty... I don't know, I always found them a bit tricky to use on the...
Yeah,
on the
I find
laptop.
that they are really tricky to use
So
on,
they work
on
in this
laptops.
instance?
But this, so far, all I've played on is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and it really does work. Without it, on the normal 3DS, you have to use the stylus to pan the camera across, and it's a little bit fiddly. Whereas this just works beautifully.
And is it quite responsive? So
Very responsive.
and no like jarring mouse or anything. I didn't even realise what I was saying just then.
All right, moving on swiftly.
Moving swiftly on.
Battery improvements?
Not really.
That's a shame.
Yeah, they claim that it's got like an extra sort of hour or so, but it's not the type of thing you're going to notice if you're using it every day. You're still going to need to charge it every other day. It's not going to make a big difference to that. So still whack it on charge when you get home.
So, are there any changes to the 3D?
Yes, that's probably the best change about this. Is that the 3D on the old one? It works pretty well, but it's a case of where you have to literally sit and play it like a mannequin like that, because if you move even slightly, then the effect's gone. It goes a bit blurry around the edges. Whereas this one, it's amazing. You turn it on, and it basically tells you that the camera in the front is going to track your eyes and goes, right, pop your head up here, stay still, and then so basically, I don't know if it works. No, so it doesn't work with 2 people. So it's tracking my eyes right now, and so it knows when your eyes move, and so it adjusts it to make up for it. So you don't have to sit there completely still, and it just allows sort of a bit of a buffer for those sorts of natural movements. So I was playing it on the tube this morning, actually in 3D, which I never ever would do with that one, because it just doesn't really work. So that's the most amazing.
This one reminds me of a little bit like a magic eye. Do you remember when you sort of had to go a
Yeah.
little bit cross-eyed
Yeah,
when you were
yeah,
younger to
exactly.
get
You
it,
have
to get
to-
the 3D
You
effect?
have to reach the Zen
This
states,
one's a
and you're
lot
in
clearer.
there. Yeah, whereas this actually, and it's quite interesting because you can see it kind of tracking to the side. So as you move your head, you can see the kind of effects sort of moving like that. But it works.
That's
clever.
very cool.
So I quite like this blue one. And I noticed you got a black one.
Yeah.
What if I want a blue one? Am I?
Well, you can buy a blue one. But also, what's really cool is it's got faceplates that you can clip onto it. And so they're all like your favourite Nintendo characters. You've got Yoshi, Mario, all that, like all the gang staring back at you. But what's a little bit disappointing is it's only the new 3DS that you can get those for, and not the new 3DS XL. And it's kind
So
of
this isn't a faceplate.
No, that's not a faceplate.
That's just the cover.
Design, yeah. And that's also not a new 3DS XL. You see how confusing it can get?
Yeah, I've got...
Tell you what,
I'm completely lost. I'm going to eat my cake.
Okay. Well,
see how confusing it is, though?
Okay, but then it doesn't... I mean, is it worthwhile? Would you actually buy one?
Absolutely, yes.
What's the price?
Even if you owned the last...
If you own
one.
basically, if you own the last one, I'd hold on to it until maybe Xenoblade comes out or any of those exclusive games, and then you can just trade it in. You can swap it in. It's going to cost you probably about 50, 60 quid if you do it that way. Brand new, this one's 150, and the 3DS XL or new 3DS XL is 165.
Are the games going to be any more pricey because they're on the new one than they are currently for the old one?
That's a really good question that I don't have the answer for, I'm afraid. But yeah,
why are you even here next?
You'll have to tune back in when we do when the games come out.
I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question.
We'll know.
I don't think anyone knows the answer to that question. It's not just that I'm ill-informed and useless.
So yeah, do let us know. Would you buy a new 3DS or an XL? Do you think it's worthwhile? Do you think they're bringing out maybe too many versions too close together? Do let us know. And as ever, stay tuned for more gadget-related content.